I listened to the exuberance of the member for St. George when she proclaimed that the honourable member for City East is the best Minister of Tourism to have ever served this country. Now, Madam Speaker, anyone could make such acclamation, but let us examine the reality. I would state here, Madam Speaker, and I will also provide the justification, that the best Minister of Tourism this country has ever seen would have been Sir Lester Bird. Our political leader, Lester Bryant Bird. And let me give you the justification, Madam Speaker, because you cannot just confer that type of credit on an individual without examining his performance. Now let us examine the performance of Lester Bird as Minister of Tourism. Madam Speaker, it is under his leadership as the Minister of Tourism that the tourism plant in this country extended or expanded almost exponentially. It is under his leadership, Madam Speaker, that the amount of tourists who comes to this country, that achievement happened under his leadership, Madam Speaker. Even the infrastructure that was put in place to support that increase in tourism arrival was done primarily by Lester Bird as the Minister of Tourism. For instance, Madam Speaker, it is well known, well, others followed you and said that the minister is the best Minister of Tourism, and I'm saying, the question is, how could that be the case? How do you justify that statement? And I'm now telling you some of the achievements of others who would have served, including our political leader, Lester Bird. It is well known, Madam Speaker, that Heritage Key, that was the brainchild of Lester Bird. The whole reinvigoration of that area around St. Mary Street, down to the wharf, created St. John's Development Corporation as a form of urban renewal. The pier at Heritage Key, again, an achievement of Lester Bird. If you look at the hotels, for instance, that happened under his leadership, Royal Antiguan, St. James's Club, Jumbi Bay, even Jolly Harbour, which in today's dollars is $1 billion investment. Those are some of his achievements. Even former Minister Marlon Joseph, he also made his contribution in the enhancement of the tourism infrastructure. As Minister of Tourism, he was responsible for the development of the second pier at Neva Street. So, Madam Speaker, whereas the present government and the present Minister of Tourism are bragging about increased cruise tourist arrivals, it was as a result of that infrastructural base that was laid in 2001, 2002. Because at that time, discussions had already taken place with the various cruise ship operators to satisfy the increased demands that were expected for the next 10 years. So, again, Minister Marlon Joseph could be credited with the achievement of developing or constructing that second pier at Neva Street in order to facilitate increased tourist arrivals. Now, members on the other side spoke about several properties that became operational under the tenure of the UPP. But I noticed, Madam Speaker, that none of them said that those projects emanated under the governance of the UPP. And I'll state here, Madam Speaker, that all of those projects that were mentioned in this Honourable House today, all, bar none, emanated under the leadership of the Antigua Labour Party, including Sandals. Now, if we had to examine the contributions of the member for St. John's City East, before we confer upon him, Madam Speaker, such accolade of being the most effective or the best tourism minister ever, then the members on the other side, Madam Speaker, will have to tell us about his achievements.